Hi everyone, I am Ria Flor C. Hernando together with Gino D. Mayet from BLIS 3A student. We are assigned to discuss about leadership chapter 14 from the book of Management and Information Center. Leadership is an often perplexing topic with numerous debates about what leadership is and even what leaders actually do. The definitions of the term leadership are not much clearer. James McGregor Barnes, one of the most respected experts on leadership, once wrote, "Leadership is one of the most observed and least understood phenomenon." Managers and leaders. Managers are often associated with qualities of the mind such as rationality, analysis, and authority, and leaders more with the qualities of the soul such as vision, creativity, passion, and inspiration. Leadership and qualities. According to most experts, each leader must fulfill two major roles. First, a leader must exercise power, and second, each leader must through actions, appearance, and articulated values present a vision that others will want to emulate. Exercising power. The first role, that of exercising power, obviously has close connections to what a good manager does. Good leaders exercise power wisely and efficiently. They must be temperate and fair, must set objectives and see that they are carried out, and must make good decisions. The characteristics that we usually associate with a good manager are also found in a good leader. Presenting a vision. The second role, that of presenting an image that others will want to emulate, is the aspects of leadership that is called vision. A leader must provide a vision, a difficult undertaking in itself, and a lack of vision is one of the major problems of leaders today. Although a leader must present a vision so that an organization will not drift aimlessly, presenting a vision is not enough. A leader must have his or her vision accepted by the followers. The followers must buy into the vision and adopt that vision as their own. The third approach to the study of leadership. The studies were based on the premise that leaders were born, not made, and only those who were born with these traits could be leaders. The assumption was that once the traits were identified, leadership selection could be reduced to finding people with the appropriate physical, intellectual, and personality traits. Leadership training would then consist of developing those traits in potential leaders. The University of IOWA studies. One of the first of these studies was done at the University of IOWA by Kurt Lewin and his associates. These researchers primarily used controlled experiments with groups of children to examine three types of leadership style. Autocratic, a leader who centralizes decisions and makes decisions autonomously. Democratic, a leader who allows subordinates to participate in decision making and delegates authority. And laissez-faire, a leader who gives the group complete freedom in decision making. OHIO state studies. Other early studies were conducted at OHIO State University in the late 1940s and early 1950s. These studies identified two relatively independent dimensions on which leaders differ. One of these dimensions, consideration, refer to the extent to which a leader establishes mutual trust, friendship, respect, and warmth in his or her relationship with subordinates. Initiating structure refers to the leader's behavior in organizing, defining goals, emphasizing deadlines, and setting direction. The University of Michigan studies. A group of researchers at the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research conducted similar studies at about the same time as the researchers at OHIO State. These studies tried to identify managers' supervisory styles and their effects on employee productivity. Employee-centered managers thought that coordinating and maintaining a harmonious environment was the supervisor's main responsibility. Style of leadership. The style theorists taught that although many different leadership behaviors were possibly, some styles were better than others. Three of the best known of these style theories are Likkert's systems of management, the leadership grid developed by Robert Blake and Jane Moulton, and the transactional transformational model of leadership. Likkert's systems of management. Francis Lickert in New Patterns of Management, built on the research done at the University of Michigan Institute for Social Research. Lickert describes four prevailing ways that managers lead within organizations. The leadership grid. The leadership grid, first termed the management grid, was developed by Robert R. Blake and Jane S. Moulton. The leadership grid involves two primary concerns of the organization: concern for production and concern for people. The leadership grid is most helpful for identifying and classifying leadership styles. Transformational or transactional leadership. James McGregor Burns was the first person to popularize the terms transactional and informational to describe leadership styles. Transactional leaders see job performance as a series of transactions with subordinates. The transactions consist of exchanging rewards for services or punishments for inadequate performance. Situational or contingency models of leadership. Likkert's systems of management, the leadership grid, and the on-transactional model imply that there is a preferred leadership style. More recent theorists have turned away from the idea that there is one best way to provide leadership. They assert that earlier theorists had leadership little success in identifying consistent relationships between patterns of leadership behavior and group performance. Fiedler's leadership contingency model. Fred Fiedler developed one of the best-known contingency theories. According to Fiedler's model, three situational variables determine how favorable any particular situation is for the leader. Path-goal theory of leadership. This theory, first developed by Robert House, differs from Fiedler's contingency theory because its central focus is on the situation and leader's behavior instead of the personality traits of the leader. Unlike Fiedler's view that leaders could not change their behavior, the path-goal model assumes that leaders can adapt different leadership goals depending on the situation. Leadership in the 21st century. In the past, leaders often have been viewed as heroes. James McGregor Burns wrote a great deal about heroic leadership, which he described as a relationship between leaders and follows in which followers put great faith in the leader's ability to overcome crises and problems. The leadership challenge. So, as can be seen, there are many theories to suggest what makes a leader successful. None of the theories completely explains leadership. However, they do help explain many of the variables that contribute to being a successful leader. Developing leadership. One of the most important lessons that successful leaders must learn is that no one can lead alone. By definition, leaders do not operate in isolation, nor do they command in the literal sense of the word, showing a one-way stream of unilateral directives. Instead, leadership almost always involves cooperation and collaboration. As Peter Senge wrote, in the knowledge area, we will finally have to surrender the myth of leaders as isolated heroes commanding their organizations from on high.